Hello, in this video I'm going to take you through the process that I'm using to wash this fleece. This is a chocolate CVM Romeldale U. I bought half of this fleece as part of the Maryland Sheep and Wool Virtual Festival for 2020. This is about 3 pounds and I've washed about half of it, so here's the half that's left, and I'm doing it in small batches because I want to preserve the lock structure for when I'm spinning. I plan to hand comb this fleece, and so I want all of the locks to be lined up. This right here is the cut end, and this right here is the end as it was on the fleece. There's a little bit of grease to this fleece. Like, as I handle it, I can feel my hands getting a little bit greasy, but it washes off super quickly with soap and water. And so I'm just picking through this fleece and washing it a little bit at a time. So first thing I do is I have just a normal lingerie bag. It's actually bigger than I need, but I like that it's nice and wide because I am going to pull out bits of this fleece and line them up so that all of the cut ends go to one side and all of the tips go to one side. And I'm just grabbing kind of handfuls of it like this, and I am making a single layer right here at the bottom of the bag with, like I said, all of those pieces lined up. All right, I have made my single layer here at the bottom with all the locks pointing in the same direction. I am going to zip this shut, and I will fold it over twice just to make this sandwich, and that will prevent the locks from moving around too much inside. Next step is to go inside and start washing it. The next step is washing. I've got my bundle of fiber here all lined up and rolled up so that it can't move. And when I washed the first batch of this, I realized that quite a bit of the dirt was coming off right in that first wash, and then it was dirty water that it was sitting in. So the first thing I do is turn my faucet on as hot as it will go and just sort of get hot water in there and start pressing, and you'll see that a lot of the dirt just comes off. Fiber felts when you add heat and agitation. So I'm not agitating, I'm not like throwing this in a washing machine and churning it all around. I'm just pressing with my hands and letting all of that initial dirt get it knocked loose and off of my fleece before I really start washing it. Now I don't need the water to run clear, but now you can see that most of that dirt has come out. Next thing I do is, for this, since I'm washing in such small batches, I'm taking just a small bowl, and I am using Kookaburra Scour, although you can just use dish soap. I like this bottle because it has a nice squeeze thing where you can measure it out. I'm not being super precise about it for this though. I'm just squeezing a little bit in there, getting a little bit of soap at the bottom of my bowl, and then I add just some hot water from the sink to make a soap solution. Now some people will say that when you wash a fleece you don't want any soap bubbles. I haven't really been paying attention to that. So for the size of my bowl and my fleece, I'm folding this into thirds, getting it in here. And then I have an electric kettle that will boil water that holds 1 liter of hot water at a time. And so I just pour the boiling water over the top, and I'm gonna go let this sit outside for 20 minutes. Next thing I do is take it out of the hot water that it's been sitting in for 20 minutes. This water is a little bit dirty, but not nearly as dirty as it would have been if I hadn't rinsed the fleece first. I've still got it folded up so that the lock structure is preserved, and I save this water. I'll show you why in a minute. But now I'm just going to rinse this. Once again, I've got it as hot as it will go on my sink, and I'm just letting water go in there and pressing out all that dirty water that it's been soaking in. Once I've done that, I've folded up a bunch, and I'm not going to wring it per se, but I'm going to squeeze as much water out of it as I can. Next step is to go back outside. All right, next thing I do is I'm back outside. I've got my sandwich here of fiber, and I just unroll it gently so that I can get to the fiber and that it's still all lined up. Let's see if I can get this to where you can see it. I take this and it's all lined up. I can just sort of gently roll it from side to side just to be able to pick up that bundle. And this is all damp here, but I've got all my cut-ins here and all my tip ends there, and I have just a laundry sweater rack, and I unroll it back onto there and let it sit outside until it's dry. Just to compare, these are some of the unwashed locks. You can see the really nice crimp structure. Like I said, it feels a little greasy. These are some dried locks that I washed yesterday, so they're not nearly as greasy. They've fuzzed up a tiny bit, but not that bad. And then I will take this and I will hand comb it. I'm going to put a link down below with a link to a video where I show how I hand comb fiber. It's on a different fleece, but the technique is the same. And now the wind has blown away some of what I have already combed. So it will make a nice nest like this of hand combed roving that I will spin later. I said that was almost last step. The very, very last step is I have a compost pile, and I take this dirty hot water and dump it on the compost pile because sheep fleece will compost, and the heat and the moisture will help the other things that are in the compost bin to start breaking down. So that's how I do this, and then I just repeat. I'll do that, 3 or 4 times on any day that it's dry, and slowly work my way through washing this fleece. Thank you so much for joining me.